Denny J Show.
Zvanga zviri downtown uptown raitidzwe nyaya dzacho dzese narrative ndaichidwe kana mchida kutipisa deep ndaipidwe make you spill a bean if you know what I mean hande
It's time.
Atite paunotitisa.
Atidi izvozvo because unovhoita attention. That's too serious, like too rigid.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Denny J Show. We are here.
Sila location.
Becky is here.
Yes.
So is Nash.
People are looking for Nash. Hey, have you seen the comment section? Guys, I'm enjoying the comment section. I don't know about you, but the comment section is just doing it for me.
It's always crazy. Talking about the comment section, somebody send me something.
Auntie.
Do you have any shout-outs? No? You always have shout-outs.
I always have shout-outs. I'm slacking. Come on, don't slack, girl.
Well,
don't slack.
I had
don't
one.
Slack.
I
All
don't
right,
know
go
what
on,
happened
go
to
on.
it, man.
Well,
No, it's gone. It's gone.
Okay, there we go.
Whoa, yeah. Shout out to Mood Changer. Mood Changer hit me up in my DM. Thank you for watching the show, man. We like it. You got more?
I tuzova murisa.
All right.
Like my phone is just doing them things.
Yeah.
Why?
And we had a fantastic interview with Nyasha David.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I rewatched it, and I think I was hearing his responses as if I was hearing them for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, did he really say that? Did he actually say that? But then he just showcased a certain side of the music industry that we didn't know existed, that you can actually make money with this thing. You just need to be strategic as a brand and as a musician, and he's doing the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a very good character. He's a very confident young man, right?
Very
a lot of the stuff he said, some people might mistake it for being pompous, whatever, but I get him. He's just a confident guy who's been in the shadows for too long.
If anything, he was.
He's out now.
He wasn't being pompous.
Yeah, he wasn't.
being
If you watch the whole interview,
Yes.
you'll notice he's actually a very cool young
He
man.
was actually crying for attention, like, Zimbabwe, see me. And then, but finally people are listening to him. That whole week after his episode aired, switch on the radio, Nyasha David. And I was like, go boy. Yeah.
He's on fire.
He's on fire.
We need to do our own Ikoko challenge. What do they call it? What did you say they call it?
Ikoko Tops.
Ikoko Top.
Top. Okay, fine. Ikoko Top.
Yeah, Ikoko Top
we
challenge.
need to do our own. Yeah. The Denny J Show.
And our guest also needs to do the challenge. The Nyasha David challenge, right?
Okay. But I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Until you go on.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so should we get into it?
Yeah, you introduce him, and then I'll introduce him some more.
All right, not a problem.
Because,
So,
he's such a big deal.
if you remember this tweet, you will know who we are talking about.
Right.
This was on the 2nd of May, 2022. He tweeted, Harare, haisikuda meya, anogara muoffice. Iri kuda kushandwa. Panoda meya anopfeka hovhorosi. Kwete suit kana chigauni chiya chinotyisa. I have a relevant experience. This is our guest today. He is a Zimbabwean politician, member of parliament, and formerly served as the country's Minister of Energy and Power Development. And he became a member of parliament in 2013. He is also a Zim dancehall
Artist.
artist.
Yeah.
Yes,
He is the former Deputy Minister of Justice,
there we go.
Deputy Minister of Transport,
Come on.
and former Minister of Energy.
Yep,
He's the most charismatic,
very.
the coolest
Please let me say his name. Please.
politician in the game today.
Yes, please let me say his name.
Who are we talking about, Becky K?
Me. Chiba best. Hey, Fortune Chasi.
In the building.
Chiba baba.
Fortune Chasi in the house like furniture.
Okay.
Shots.
Wow. Was that necessary?
Not a bar.
Not a bar, right?
Not a bar.
He just like you becoming
Not a
clumsy
bar.
with that thing. Can just be douche everywhere.
Player haters. Nkoma Fortune.
Yes.
Do we address you as the Honorable MP for Mazowe South, or the former Minister of Energy, or Hon Fortune Chasi.
Zvimwe zvese izvozvo hazvinondiremera. Honorable.
Honorable.
Ozviti honorable iwewe. Aiwa, tongoda geto mukoma kana mudhara.
Chibaba.
But have you ever felt the need for people to call you honorable? Obviously, there's certain spaces where you're like, address me.
No, that's not me.
Oh, yeah?
That's not me. I actually prefer my first name, but many people, in official circles won't do that. But I feel it is when I'm Chibabest.
And I was watching the Julius Malema interview the other time.
Okay.
And then they spoke about this whole honorable thing. So apparently the guys from Malema's party, the Freedom Fighters, they had a problem calling certain members of parliament honorable.
Because they were not honorable.
Is the word dishonorable.
Ish.
So apparently the statutes in South Africa do not really say you must call
them
someone honorable.
So what is it?
You must
like a
you must just address them with respect. So it could be Mr. or whatever, not necessarily honorable. So we might want to see what our rules of parliament actually say, because he was saying that it's been like that for forever, but nobody ever actually really checked, because sometimes they get reprimanded. Call him honorable. Call him. And sometimes you have MPs who are not so honorable.
Because I know at times when I'm hosting functions and then there's like a member of parliament that is there, or a minister, or someone in government, and they are on the list, whether as a guest of honor, guest speaker.
Yeah.
You can't just say. And to give us our open remarks is Mr. Fortune Chasi.
It can't.
It can't work.
Yeah.
You have to put.
But
that
you
honorable.
had the honorable MP saying no.
So I can't wait to host an event where he's like a guest of honor or a speaker. I'll be like, to give us the open remarks, please help me welcome Chibabest. My nigga.
That's close, no sparkle.
That'd be cool, eh? Yeah. You don't want to be like these Balis.
No.
Honorable,
Those
honorable.
ones
There are some data. You grew up in Blawayo. Tell us about growing up in Blawayo.
Yes, I was born at Watson Clinic. And my father used to work for the railways, Rhodesia Railways then.
Yeah.
So in this time, my first class.
Okay.
And my sheets,
Those were the days.
And the trains were really nice.
It was, I can't wait to get on the train again, like go to Skies.
Yeah.
To Vic Falls on the.
But you had a chance to, to sort this out when you were Deputy Minister of Transport.
Yeah, I was Deputy Minister.
You never renovated the trains for us.
No, we tried. But, I was there for a very short time.
Yeah.
But the vision was there.
Yeah.
And I hope the guys who are there are running with the thing.
You have some of the shortest stints of any minister in government. I don't know why that is. He can't seem to keep a job. What's the story?
Maybe it's in the history.
What's the story?
Maybe it's in the history.
The honorable does not keep his job. He's here, he's there, he's out, he's there. What's the story there, honorable?
Problem, child.
Were you?
I'm inclined to believe this.
Were you a problem?
You have that relative who can't keep a job.
It's a case of he's really good at what he does, and then other departments want him.
He's too good.
Yes, and then other departments want him. Who's 6 months
What's the story, honorable?
When I started working, I really didn't spend a year on a job until I got what I wanted. So when I got the job at the Reserve Bank, everything was hunky-dory. Chikafu, Bachka, Chikoro, Denny, Fuji. Almost 20 years. But kuna izvi but it's one of those things. It comes with the test.
So which one was your very first job? Because I know you were at the Reserve Bank at some time.
I started off as a public prosecutor. At Rotten Road. Then I became a provincial prosecutor in Kadoma. 1 year later. Then when I was asked to go to Chipinge, so ndakabva ndadimbura nokuenda kuChinoi ndikajoina law firm yainzi Brian Mparadzen Company.
In Chinoi.
In Chinoi, then I came to the head office here. then adata ngwava umalofe mumu. Then adazoenda kuchikoro ndawana scholarship. The masters to UK, came back, did another masters, got into the Reserve Bank, kept on reading.
So how many masters? What are your qualifications? What do you have? What?
It's a lot.
I did my BA and LLB at UZ.
Right.
Then I went to do a master's in international law. I was a Chevening scholar at Essex University. Then I came back and I did a master's in international relations at our good university.
Right.
Then I did a master's in international business law with Cambria University, which is in Switzerland and the UK.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm posa.
Hey, thank you, because I'm like... Everything had to do with law. Yeah. Did you always want to be in law? Like
when I was in grade 6, I knew I was going to be a lawyer. But I know you won't believe this. When I was in grade 6, I knew I was going to be a minister. So
grade 6.
Yeah. The wrong vision.
Grade 6. Time yes me
right.
That is what after independence.
What did you see that made you say I'm going to be a minister?
Okay. Smart as fun as
spot on.
So I would.
But honorable Matkanya because the smart Yamaru has smart.
Yeah, what for
basketball jazz.
Don't do delela. So you know, when I would study, I would have it would be in front of a mirror.
Right.
Don't you practice a speech. Unfortunately, ndakangoita ombichana pandakanzi deputy then minister.
Right.
So but ndakabvira grade 6 in practice.
Knowing that you were going to be a minister. Not so much a lawyer, but minister, you knew.
Yeah, yes, a lawyer.
I'm not specific name minister. A minister will be a church or
a minister not taura church.
Whether I'm church or government.
There was an advert, my mom used to tell me about it. Yeah, Ian Smith. And the Buddha declare. But I can get some glass that shatters or something.
Right.
And people loved it so much because it had like that. I don't know what it, because I've never seen the advert. Yeah. Was that the same feeling when you saw Ian Smith on TV and you were like, all right.
What's up? But when I too much as a child, and your connection with the Rhodesian government was the news presenter.
Right.
Second year, you know, the Department of Defense has issued a communique about terrorists 50. Yes. I hated those people. I know I've been a politician without dara.
Right.
Wow. Then no some concentration camps at Makip.
Because you grew up most of your life in Bloa, eh?
Yes, but panaganda kunotanga chikoro manje. Ndakachemera kugara na Gogas kurutsu.
Right.
Pandaita 1 year, second year chikoro chava chafarwa masoja. Ndopatikaiiswa Mukip. 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 Concentration camp. This is one Hitler says.
Oh, Saka, just tell us exactly, because this is Triwe Pamberiga, Mait was a Rafia Maitambo Jaja Mait was
Pampagaipa. Uzata Taifudza Mombe, so and it. Musango.
Right.
Tabatazo ngona maybe 20 white soldiers. Bangoka wanda muskova nkusumu. Imagine the fear, the fright.
Right. You are a youngster. You are.
Takadai.
Right.
Oh, yo.
Hey. But to their credit, iwa watakaona vacho vanotarasa itoya moresa chi. But next day kugwaji ndo address assembly.
Right.
Chikoro chavarwa. Then my trucks abauya Denny. Watora zvese wakatitorera mombe huku.
So the idea of Yekufara Chikoro and so on, what was the idea behind it?
It was meant to remove they knew that our combatants, the war veterans that we talk about now, depended on embedding themselves within ourselves. Right. So they wanted to remove that support. So vanhu vairara kuseni unenge unopiwa pasi uchibuda pagedhi kana isina kudzoka pasi it means uri kuita musikanzwa musarinya nemacombatants huku. Yeah, so people would go, but there were always ways.
Right.
Because boys and girls dzaingopinda imomo dzotoadress harali imomo mukempu.
Oh, right. Oh.
So anga iri chinyazi chacho.
Yeah. And then from then you moved to the city.
Yeah, well, like I told you, my father was with the railways.
Yes.
And so one of my brothers was already staying with him. And so the two of us, my late brother Ernest and myself, we then went to join them. And we spent the 2 terms in 1973 without going to school. Then the next year, went to do grade 3.
Wow. So, that was a tough time, right?
I'm just trying to think with the children that we are raising now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different breed altogether.
It can't.
No, it can't.
It can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's so different because the paternalism and maternalism that we give to our kids now.
Yeah. It's extra, right?
Yeah, I mean, munhu anenge atokura but uchimubatsira kutsvaga nzvimbo unotenga isusu uchipedza grade 7 kulukanyiso wakutomhanya wega kuenda kumpoezi yainzi high school
hamba wesidingelinda
unotozodzoka wakabata mapepa aya anenge ane list yemainform usvika kuti ndaane nzvimbo
right
chinipai mari ndonobhadhara nobody would accompany you. But now chikoro chacho kutanga uri kupusha munhu kuti endaka kuchikoro one.
Yeah. So your first government job was then after school. Was it the RBZ job?
Oh no, I was a prosecutor.
Yeah, okay.
Minister of Justice.
And then from then, what was the next job?
It was a law firm.
In Chinoi.
In Chinoi.
Yeah.
And then I came back. I also worked for the Legal Resources Foundation.
All right.
That is from where I went to the UK, Essex University, as a Chevening scholar, and studied international law. So at that point, my plan really, I wanted to be a diplomat, and I wanted to work for the United Nations.
Right.
I wanted to represent
like he knew.
Yeah, that's why I did international law and the international relations. So ndaifunga kuti vamwe ndichaonekerawo ndobatanzi because vanhu vaya vaishanda kuye kwega vauya vachitenga mazivhuzha ani mabm madheni mamwe achiisa
like what you saw akati smartly dressed. Yes, let's do this.
Because ukata smart yako utapush yako nedheni yako
ogona kusasa because ndosasa time
yeah mawani
ndara ndiwe sustain.
So Deputy Minister of Justice.
Yes.
That was your first ministerial job.
Yeah, sure.
Did you get a phone call? How do you apply to be a Deputy Minister of anything?
You don't even know.
Right.
Pamwe izvozvo ndakatogara panapa undatoapointwa izvozvo.
Yeah.
Something. So you just get wongodzwa kuti pane mangonjo pagedhi.
I thought you would like apply.
Watombofunga kuti pane mangwana ndakaita here
ende kana wakubaya futi wakubaya nditika andina ndabaya kaviri ka same order
ngonjo
autozivi kuti
yes nonotongona pa WhatsApp
right
ekudhara ingo yamuputisa
ngonjo kuti zvadhako
mazabo mbona maputisa
thanks very much.
Yeah, but kana wakubaya manje respect ninge ashuma
no thank you
zvezvapera
but so yeah ipapo ndakangoona ndikatoshama kuti zvandibvirawo kupisa.
So did you have you obviously had people who knew about your exploits in that government. That was the late former president's government, isn't it? When your first appointment was under Robert Mugabe's government.
Yes. Yeah. I think I don't think I was that well known by the top guys.
Right.
But what they would do, of course, from the time you are campaigning and you win the elections, they then know, okay, Kumai Central, Kwabuda Ningi na Ningi.
When my qualifications were royal.
So, vozotari so much anoapointika apa ndiani because pamwe munhu anenge ane grade 7 iwe unechi
But in a book, my qualifications, Mamsa found out the Minister of Justice report. Book is strong.
Remember, Bandaka President Mnanga Gondo wanga Minister of Justice.
Oh, right.
So
right.
in terms of
Seniority.
Yes, so ndakandiri ndakaswito sei. And but what board to this.
But does book really matter? Panya Dzogta minister, do you have to have some form of degree accompanying you, or you just have to know the systems, you have to know what the people want?
Yeah, I think there are two things with being a minister. You, first of all, it's not about the position. It's about the content of the job and your desire to work for your country. Right. So that doesn't really need chikoro.
Saka muruti neshango the minister.
We are not in Dakawano.
Oh, plus didn't touch ka.
But atsuda
musandise ku finance. Musandise ku finance.
Finance at your own risk.
Finance at your own risk.
But kwaji nebas. I did it. Because in this job, kana uri constituents kwako anditi. Unofanira kukwanisa kutaura nemchembiza asati ambokwira mota. And then kukanzi kune function what embassy unofanira kusvika ikoko uchi mixa uchitaura language inoenderana nechi plus approach yako yebasa. For example, ndandiri energy, I'd never dealt with energy before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to read my academic articles, manage people, learn from the university.
Right.
Ungofonera chimwe chiprofessor kuti nyaya iyi toita sei apa. Because you, but kana usina manje zvinonetsa kuti uzongopinda position iyaya.
So when you were Deputy Minister of Energy and all of that, you
No. Deputy Minister of Justice
and Transport.
Yeah.
Did you know? Okay, justice obviously because of the law.
Yeah, because
Transport. Did you have to learn on the job?
Yeah, you have to learn. There is no school that trains you to be a minister.
Right.
Yeah. So unotodzidzira ipapo, and unofanira kunge augeze like this, but like chipindwa nechimugondera maziso. So you have to be streetwise. You must research. You must use the skills that are within the ministry and elsewhere. Kuti unge uchinyatsofamba nebhora. But ukangoita zvekungogara kungoti wapo ndinogara muye mweka. Hapana chinofamba.
Right.
Hapana. Because you have people who are in there who have been there for 30, 40 years. Yeah. They know they have their own way of doing things. But when you are appointed, the president expects you, especially the current president,
right,
to be an agent of change.
Right.
You understand? Saka vanhu vanofanira kuchangamuka. Ukaona vachikufarira too much. Kwangu taita meeting na 6 a.m. Musi wesvondo.
He's abusive.
Graft. Boys said dzinotiza graft on Friday. And nasi Friday. Ukatofonera kaunka blast so. Kakutopinda mamutare. Kangobuda. And I time manje noti Mr. Ningi, Mr. Nash vari mere. So nza vabuda ngwai. Vane time. Those of 49 ndoti
meeting.
Director Nash. Weka kofisi kwangu kutaura ne. Shiva izo so uri kupi. Ndikutopinda mamutare kunei. Kuna tete dzoka. People must work. You see what I mean?
I'm that way abuser.
Hanzi mshongo webasa kuriita.
But Friday they got to do my drinks.
Ndeye kuteni kwakwe.
Amana drinks.
Drinks.
Hey.
My drinks panda kushandwa.
Nyika yoda kushandwa.
Yeah. I mean, we hear so many tales of how you were doing such a great job at the Ministry of Energy. Tell me about your job at the Justice Ministry. How long were you in the ministry at that time? Well, because I know in transport you were 8 months. Justice Ministry you were there for a bit longer, right?
Yeah, not more than a year.
You don't do more than a year. So that was just over a year. Yeah. Could transport 8 months.
Yeah. But transport I get bored because it was a promotion.
Oh yeah, it was a promotion. And then energy 15 months. Yeah. Thereabouts.
That I improve our
from when you started, that was. So, but what are some of the successes that you yourself think you registered whilst at the Ministry of Energy? Because I think that was the most high-profile appointment that you ever had in the government.
Yeah, you know, it's always difficult for me to take the credit alone because I was the commander of this ship. I had a very hardworking permanent secretary, Dr. Magombo, and very experienced directors. And then I also had a good team at ZESA and at ZERA, the Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority, as well as the workers, especially at ZESA, the ordinary worker. So, yes, the achievements cannot be accorded to myself alone. But I must say I accept them on behalf of all these people, because it was teamwork. I also was able to achieve a number of things because I had to work very closely with Dr. Mangunja and Professor Mtuli at finance, because for you to make payments to get Forex, you've got to be working with those people. And I didn't really have to persuade them because they understood the centrality of energy in the economy. I mean, it was commonplace. But you needed skills to communicate and make people understand the urgency of your situation. Yeah, and say, okay, Dr. John, people 5 million, today went to ESCOM. No, you know, this week, press. They're going to pay 10 next week.
So is this funds from government or from well-wishers, private companies?
No, this is like to service the national debt.
To service the national debt. So essentially, ZESA has got its own money.
Okay.
And it wants to access foreign currency. So, you know, there's been a demand for Forex for a long time. So the governor of the Reserve Bank tries by all means to meet all these. It's like, you know, when say you have 10 puppies and all of them want to suck at the same time. That's the situation. So you've got to be talking with the guys that have got their hands on the cash. So a lot of that's how we're able to clear the debt.
Your successor in the ministry seems to be struggling a bit. Load shedding is on the high, blackouts everywhere.
I would say
what are some of the challenges that you faced, and how come you managed to overcome these obstacles? Because right now the country is the load shedding. You know, people can attest. You know, Magetsi anongo we are 2 minutes.
Yeah, then you know, I don't know if he's struggling. I'm sure he's.
No, to us he's struggling because I go home. There's no power. When you were there, there was power. There was power, right? Yeah. So I'm not putting the blame on him, but as the custodian of the ministry, he's the one who we look to when we want to complain. There's no power, and it's now, you know, I don't know how many, Nash, it's now crazy, right? It's not like it's not like 8 hours, or it's even beyond that, you know. Why are these challenges manifesting themselves so much now? Is it a question of a debt that keeps ballooning, and then the people shut us out, or what?
No, but they cleared the debt. So by the
time the debt is always
it's always like reoccurring.
So what is Yeah, but you know, right now, of course, I'm not that au fait with the intricacies of the shortage. I experience what you. At home, they still call me Minister of Energy because they got on light on Dodzima. Even the guy,
does that really work though? Does that really work?
It works. It works. You know, if you want to deal with this problem, your approach must be multifaceted.
Okay.
You've got to be talking to people, to the public. Like, I mean, you don't expect a company that's owed 1.2 billion United States dollars to work and continue daily to produce and attend to you. So I think the public across the board, ordinary people, local authorities, commerce and industry have been very unfair on ZESA. ZESA needs that money. During my time, I've been no any motor, but So they can't come and fix a fault.
Right. But my prepaid is kubhadhara kamagesi.
Yeah, prepaid. Zasiyana manje. Coach Kwembe chamakaminacho che 1.2. Chamakanganwa because apa wakungoita prepaid kawakubhadhara is you are eating what you have.
Right.
But
you're not servicing.
So that's a problem. So, but I'm aware that government has been making a lot of effort. My projects that here will be kicking in by year end, and also the efforts. Zambia has got excess power now, which they are able to not
share with us.
No, to sell to us. We must pay. You see? So it becomes a function now, yokuti tino kwanisa ubadara ere.
So how come everyone else has excess power but we have a deficit? What is
our circumstances are different. Zambia is not on sanctions.
Right.
Yeah, so tine namudzatinazo but this is an opportunity for us to kutitite say tisimbise nyika yacho tega under tough conditions. And once all this is cleared, I can tell you Zimbabwe will fly. We just need people who are committed to our country and people who have confidence that our country can go. I mean, you can see quite a smart city and our president was launched a few days ago. It's unimaginable. If you have been to Dubai, and Dubai. So every day there's this one, that being launched and so forth. So it's not an overnight thing. It's something that will take time. But it's very difficult for the public to see these things under conditions of difficulty. But from where I've sat and from where I sit every day, I can see that glory days are coming.
Many people believe you were doing a fantastic job when you were at the Ministry of Energy. And a lot of us were shocked when we heard that you had been axed. Why do you think that was? Why do you think you were relieved whilst you were doing a very good job?
Well, yeah, I don't believe I was axed. People use all sorts of words. I was fired.
Axed is more dramatic.
Yeah. Firing or motor. The thing is, I believe I was overheating because I'm the type of guy. Wokutoka muti pinda apa. And kana bataisa kura kumunda moms vaitoona kuti pashandwa. You know what I mean? Right. So I was overeating. Ndagara ndedikita. The 7 days a week, 24/7. I would be, I would always be telling you to akuna magetsi because kuna problem yakati. And when you tell people, it's easier for them to understand. Kuti indawa kusina magetsi. And my own belief is that there is need for more information from government officials to the public, and that will lessen the pressure, and the wrong impressions that people formulate if they don't have information. So I was not fired, I was not axed, I was relieved of my duties. That's what the letter that I got said.
Very diplomatic.
Of your duties.
Yes, showing that I graft and it. Bakuru abona kuti mfana tikamurega akadai mwana uyu kwa anostroke atikuona ndo iripo
that's your version of what happened.
Ya plus kana kubhora nditika pane kwa substitution even uriwe wacho unogona nditika unombonzi beta say yeah, and sometimes
saka makanzi zimbozorora
ndakazorora that's ndakatongomirawo kuti either the next match
put me in coach.
But the striker ari kugoesa ari on fire but
munenge mune crucial match andwa
ndakuseva striker.
Yeah, final.
Okay.
Andikona wazukuru.
Okay.
Arikaiti no rikaimfana amboita sei. Anokwanisa stroke.
Amborest.
Right, ngamborest.
Tinozoti pa match iya yazoita sei. Andizive kuti match atizoti kutamba nei pa next match.
Addressing a gathering at Kunatsa Farm in Matepatepa, Bindura, which I believe is in your constituency.
Oh, no, it's not. It's actually in Bindura.
It's in Bindura, sorry. The president was addressing a gathering at Kunatsa Farm in Matepatepa. owned by the late Dag Munatsi, I believe. Yeah. The president said, and I quote, "This time the situation is greatly improved because we had uninterrupted power supply because of the hard work by the young man, Chasi, who was the Minister of Energy at the time, and we are thankful about that." Yeah. That is very ironic. I mean, you were fired for
Denny.
for being.
He was relieved.
No, you were fired for
of his
conduct
duty.
inconsistent with his expectations. But he went on to shower praises.
Yeah, I
on
think.
you
Yeah,
for the work that you had done.
I don't think it's ironic. It actually supports what I'm saying. That I was relieved. You know, here is the man who put me on the bench. And he's simply confirming the fact that no, Kamfana guy graftak. And it.
So next match irini manje.
Uninterrupted.
Taseva striker. Call next Gemazo next one iri kupindwa rini manje. Ndopata kuziya kuti super striker agarisa. Remember zvinoita striker akagarisa akatambe game anobuda form.
Aiwaka.
Ndopanopinda WhatsApp.
FIFA anti ndio inoronga ere maninga. Anditi. My international FIFA ndio ichaita se ichataroti tiri kutamba nani.
But panofana mbeto kana friendly kana something and there
I'm a friend aripo.
I think my friend Aripo. We just don't know about it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay.
Because remember, I still work. I'm in the Politburo as a deputy secretary for legal affairs. I still work. I work for my party. I'll not leave my party. I'm still in my constituency doing work.
That continue in smart yedu.
Yes.
Let's continue the smart.
Yeah.
Ungaifihli.
Pera manje.
I'm smart.
I'm smart.
Okay, so there's no ill feelings on the leadership in terms
no, completely.
With regards to this,
I still get assignments to carry out from time to time, including tomorrow. I'm going out of town to do work on the instructions of the party. So serving your country doesn't mean you've got to be a minister.
Right.
We have people that have done wonders for this country that we do not know about. We've spent 40 years in private companies, in public companies, in the civil service, in the military, whom we do not know about. So being minister, for me,
it's a plus.
It's just something. It's one way of serving your country.
Okay. There are a number of allegations that were leveled against you. Zanzi, Mdara, corruption, this, that. I think it stems from the fact that when you were minister, you wanted to try and get that intra-track deal back on track. Yeah. And some people mistook that as being you being corrupted to push. Can you just explain to us what the situation was with regards to intra-track? And I believe there's also a company called Hillcrow. Electrical fronted by Farai Jerry.
Yes.
Can you just shed some light on these allegations?
Talk is cheap.
Right.
Yeah, talk is cheap. And in this game, people will just make up stories. Right. Facts. Sister Magweta to Dilani facts. And let me start with the first one.
Right.
When I got to the ministry, I went through the file. I was very anxious about this matter. And I went through the files. I called up files from ZESA to look at what was really happening. I went to Gwanda to see what was on the ground. And then from there, I could see that legally ZESA and Intratech had been in the High Court, I think 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Sorry, and ZESA had lost. In
all those times?
Yeah, all those times. Not even one time did they win.
Right.
And I'm a lawyer, so I don't support illegalities.
Right.
If there's a judgment which says people must meet and discuss, that's what Justice Chitapi said in the final judgment. Yep. And when I got there, I think the judgment was about 2 years old. And these people had not met, they had not discussed in fulfillment of what the judgment said. So to the credit of Intratech, I had heaps of correspondence from them requesting to meet me.
Right.
And so as a public official, I couldn't deny them the opportunity to come and present their issue. Right. So I called both of them. They presented their situation. and the other guys responded. Now, remember, this ministry was Ministry of Energy and Power Development.
Right.
So whilst I had a duty to manage existing power, I also had the responsibility to develop power.
Yes.
Right? And they then said they will be able to give me another 30 megawatts, which is a lot of power.
Right.
Within 6 months.
This is Intratec.
Right. Yeah, they'd restructured, and they had other experts who included the gentleman who did the, if you're going to Chinhoyi, you find a solar.
Yeah, the solar farm.
Yeah, that one. And highly respected and so forth. Vadamanikai is lawyers, Wilson Manasseh is their chairman and so forth.
Right.
And they were able to demonstrate that they had the funds to do that.
Right.
On the other hand, a lot of money had been spent on lawyers.
Okay.
Over these years.
Right.
Now,
fighting a losing battle.
A losing battle.
Right.
Now, I said this must come to an end. But out of either ignorance or pure mischief, some decided to say, I was saying that Mr. Chivayo should be prosecuted. No, I didn't have that power.
Right.
That was the National Prosecutor General's function. But I was saying to ZESA, we cannot continue to bleed the company just to benefit the lawyers. We
Right.
now need to stop this. Because you must also remember, when you spend 20 million or whatever amount
Right.
on legal fees, that feeds into the tariff that you, the public, pay to get ZESA, because they must meet all those costs. So that was really the background. I know that there were stories that ndakatengerwa matracks kuZambia nedzimba. I wish yes, daindaizviwana izvozvo, I would be super happy.
Right.
I would be super happy. Yeah, the same thing, well, with the Hillcrow, I don't know, maybe I want Tengero or something, but they basically had a project which had gone through various stages of approvals, and the financing was available from India.
Right.
And one of my instructions was to make sure that all projects which are ready to kick off should be implemented. So I was really just doing what I was supposed to do. But kana pane vavengi unongoziva kuti anotsvaga tunyaya.
Saka imimi munovengwa because munoita zvinhu properly. Is that it? Would you say that's the reason? You know, when you have a lot of people who probably do deals, then they come to you to try and do a deal, and then you are not forthcoming. Could that be a reason why? Maybe. I mean,
No. Actually, I don't recall any fishy deal coming onto my table.
Right.
I would simply do what I think everyone in a position such as the one I was in does. Scrutinize it.
They never tried to come and do fishy deals with you.
Because Basara minister asirobita madiri. And it you are, especially if you are energy, you have work to do, you have deliverables. The whole country, every sector of the country is looking at you to produce power. Wangwane wheat. Wangwaruda kuona bora. Zvikoro, ma clinics, ma hospitals, people can die. So I time yokuda kuti utsvage mari. Kana utsvaga mari, unobuda pa position. Uenda kunze, unotsvaga mari zvikuita mamwe ma businessmen ane mari.
Right. You also engaged in a bruising battle with the executive chairman at ZESA. What was the situation there? You had problems with Sydney Gata, I believe?
No, I didn't have problems with him. In fact, we didn't have a battle. You know, I was the minister responsible for energy.
Right.
I saw a report in the press suggesting that he had a significant number of vehicles, company vehicles at his house.
Right.
And I caused the board to carry out an investigation.
What's a significant number of vehicles?
I think the figure was 6 or 7, which I found untoward. And I did not obviously understand why one would have
so many
vehicles. And to be honest with you, I had an excellent working relationship with him. He's the guy who gave you confidence because of the depth of his knowledge and his general work ethic. Remember, I was in the job not to be in love with him.
So you never questioned you?
Yokuti hapana issue kuti tofanwa kudanana kuti yandide chatiri kuda kuti nyika inge ine magetsi. His character and idiosyncrasies ndezvake then kwake ininiwo ndine zvangu.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I'm also unique in my own way. But per graft, throughout it a graft. And that's all that we did. And then, of course, what happened, happened. But I never had hard feelings against him. And I hope he doesn't have hard feelings against me.
Yeah, because there was some back and forth. You know, he had a problem with you suspending him, and you eventually reinstated. Why did you reinstate him? I don't think. Did you actually done your investigations and completed them?
No. I didn't suspend him. It was the board.
Okay.
I'm a stickler for corporate governance.
Right.
I could.
But I think you sign off on all these suspensions, don't you, as the minister?
Well, they inform me. I don't have to insist. Of course, if I find that, remember, this is governed by the law.
Right.
The only directive that the Minister of Energy can give in terms of the Electricity Act is a policy instruction, and I'm a lawyer.
Right.
And I can't tell them, no, gets up and gets. But from a policy position, I'll tell them that our approach is we want industry and commerce or farmers to have continuous power. I think that's what the president was talking about. That's how we're able to achieve that. Because I'll then tell them, their time here, and it
make sure.
Maybe the public shanza makenduru. And it magets to isagup wheat. But not kuti farmer mudzimire. You can't do that. So there was never a directive.
Right.
Yeah, but the board, I left them to make their own decision, and which they did.
You're relatively active on social media. So much.
Have you seen his page?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So much so that people actually believe that there's something else to the end game. You're campaigning for something bigger in the future. Is that about right?
I think the biggest that I can be is to be a president of a burial society. I have never even one day spoken about it and in a capacity. There are very few people. There are very few people who will acknowledge the good work that is being done, even now. Yeah, there are very few people who acknowledge, even what you want. Okay,
because the strain is overriding, overpowering.
Yeah, and so everyone, but kurikunzi, and remember our party systems and processes.
Yeah.
Aungonyuka uchingoti ndadoita president. Kana wadaro muka bike door.
But I mean, you are 57 years old, which is relatively young in nationalist politics. You are a young man.
Yeah, are you include my weekends and my holidays? Because
yeah, but you see what happens is I think it's taboo to speak of wanting to become president whilst there's a president in place. I noticed that a lot of people have been in trouble in the past in the party. Not to say that you want to challenge the incumbent or whoever follows after that, but the prospect of becoming president at 57, look, in 20 years you probably could still run for president. If I'm to look at the age that our former leader passed on at. So we are not saying Chasi wants to run for president now, because that will get you into trouble. But if that opportunity comes in the future, is it something that you would look at?
Look, I'm a very patriotic Zimbabwean, and I would welcome an opportunity to work for my country at whatever level.
Right.
Even the provincial administrator. Mat South,
right.
I will go. And I think there's something wrong about wanting to be a president. I think you must want the content of the work that comes with that position. And once you begin to want to be, to want the title,
and not the content.
then there is a, and I really don't think anybody has anybody who really matters in these issues is any doubts about my commitment and my view, because kana uchida kuita some of these things you don't do it alone ka ndoisa katimu kanenge kachikampena. I must have money. I'm as poor as a church mouse. I can't even think of launching something like that, and I've got no desire.
No, that is an exaggeration a bit. You are not as poor as a church mouse.
It depends what the church yacho deku.
Okay, good answer, I guess. Yeah. So the simple answer is no. Fortune Chasi has no ambition to become the president. So,
he just wants to serve the country.
Yeah, because some people don't. They misconstrue when you're on social media and you're connecting with the youth, because I think you are a vital tool in for your party, because you have a connection to the young people. Yeah. And when you look at the demographic now, the bulk of the people who are going to either retain the presidency and the position that the ruling party has now are the young people. This is what the demographics are like. So it's always good to connect to the young people.
Yep.
And I think maybe perhaps people in the party must take a cue from what you're doing, because you had a fight the other day with a young man. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that. So your presence on social media is...
It wasn't a fight.
There's a difference.
No, I think, it's important to connect with young people. We always speak of young people in futuristic terms. But each young person has a life to live today.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want to enjoy life today. And they are very enterprising. Young people like technology. They like fashion. There are certain things. They like music. There are certain things that industries which, if you think about, it's young people who are in broadcasting now. So I think that we need to give them a lot of support. And when I was fired as Deputy Minister of Justice, I found lots of time to connect and get Mugeto, go to studios and record with them and see the practical challenge that they face. Because Mageto is one hustler in many ways. And very few government officials have been inside the studios. Enda kwa Jalav.
Right.
Vana kune chaunga chawapana. Ka studio kacho kazono ndiko kari kuburitsa ndini uya. You won't believe it.
Right.
Yeah, everywhere. So my belief is that we need to support the arts. Right. That's why I've been because of my policies in Nigeria.
Right.
The central bank created a fund which they gave to this industry.
Wow.
And it's bearing fruit, and we should do the same. So it's not for ulterior motives. I also think that the other reason is that when I grew up, I tended to have friends who were roughly 10 years older than myself. So I guess I'm trying to relive my youthfulness. So there is no... don't say what I don't say. You know what I mean?
So do you not think you could be a tool for your party in terms of your connection with young people and making sure that the connection is there?
Yes, the future of young people is now. And so they should not just be relevant politically. We need to actually empower them, and our politics will become much easier, right. Because like you are saying, the demographics actually dictate who are in the majority. So we really need to do a bit more. And certainly in my constituency, the approach that I take when I sing, I'm singing to young people especially. Right. I'm trying to educate them about our history. Like we're talking about concentration camps, the so-called keeps. You blame them but munakazvarwa 95 anoziva sei zvaitika 1975. So you want to channel all that history kuti in a way on a platform that that's why I'm saying with Killer T kuti Zimbabwe yamakatsikirira ine vanhu vakaifira. But because daimba na Killer T tichishandisa rhythm rake fire.
Yes, it didn't become one of those monotonous.
The same thing with Jalav. You know what I mean? I did one with Raskeleb. Fresh. Ipapa ndava ndandiri palunch na producer. Tichibika.
Muchitama works.
And pachanetsa but meno ma DJ.
Can you give us one line? Can you give us one line from the song?
Which one?
The new song. Chifresh
chacho. Kawan kado. All right. With the singing career, did it start after Muri Deputy Justice? And it was there, and then it was cultivated then when you were like, oh, I've got so much time on my hands.
Before that, I was so good at singing that I was chased out of the choir at school.
Oh, wow.
You were
very good, eh?
That was very good. So
and they relieved you of your duties.
Of my duties. But
you have a long history of relief.
I like being relieved. But after that, I also had issues to communicate. So some of the songs, if one wants, they could interpret them politically. But I was really just enjoying myself, working with young people, understanding their issues. I still enjoy, doing that because there are also people who were much older than myself who enjoyed working with me and were very impactful on my life. And so, ndaitodzidziswa Jalavu pane song yatakaita ndakatora drove from here to Mutare and back 4 lines per repeat. Ugodzoka blaza kudata but mudhara mukutaura ka. It was tough.
Wow.
People don't understand that he was a genius, he was talented. Listen to his lyrics, his knowledge of the Shona language, his knowledge of the Bible, and the fact that you could just stand by mic and start. Kana kanga nisana kuti mutanga futi. Recorder. Yatopera song. So lots of talent, I think, that we really, really need to monetize. And young people want mentorship. I wish I had a school, a university for mentorship because people want to find somebody who will give them insights or ideas.
There's something that you touched on when you mentioned Burna Boy and the central bank funding. I don't know if it would work in Zim in terms of who would then instigate it, who would then make sure that it happens, and topinzanya managers, ema artists, would they then make sure that the artist that they're managing gets those funds? Or is it a case of opening a trust fund or some form of, I don't know, like an account or what do you call this? An association of some sort where Denny J, after performing, okay, like maybe his performance fee is 2,000. From that 2,000, probably 500 or 800. In the square to like a trust or an association, in Maria Denny J, and then it continues accumulating. In the day of rain and trouble, Denny J knows Kutindineji
can get something.
I can get something.
Because the biggest problem we have is an artist, makes nice music for us. For a long period of time. When they pass away, they have a pauper's funeral. Just
it's sad. That's my fear.
It's sad. The arts, music in particular, has got its own infrastructure. Just like the economy, you have to fix the roads. You have to fix machine and ogadzira magets. We need to do the same with the arts. Because apana event inaitwa pasingarire music.
Of course.
But we are not bothered kuti muno asvika sei kuti azoproduce. It's extremely expensive. So we need, in my view, government to support artists of whatever nature, give them the necessary resources. Like Blaza anogadzira mbira. Anditika. Ana Thomas Mapfumo wakaenda nadzo are all over the world. But kwanenge agadzirwa kwamre wako. So give those people resources. So the entire value chain needs support. So you give finance at concessional rates.
Okay.
Right? To musicians. They also must realize it's a business. So hapana mari yekunzi unongopiwa. So it's like imi munotanga studio panapa. If I ask you kuti, how much did you spend? Mari makazoiwana zvaita sei. It wasn't easy. Right? So people must be able to access funds in a professional manner, knowing that this is a business. I said, "Tora mari unonwa wawa or tenga dombo or something." So I think that's what. So we're starting with the making of instruments or making instruments available to our import. Acho ano import. Ano gadzirwa muno, achi gadzirwa muno. Vanoita ma videos. Vachikwanisa kutenga equipment yacho. I was with a young man this morning. Akabva munaenda South Africa. Akabirwa. Akarobwa twice. Kuti vanomuhaya voti uyauti tire zvakadzva. Oenda neequipment. Uber youya. Svika kuye. Buda. Utora. Twice. You know what I mean? So we need that support. We need support here musician. We need to professionalize musicians. I remember one time I was talking to my young man, Soldier Love, and a show of Vic Falls. Jim, why are you driving there? You're a big artist. What's the promote on this same day? Oscar Mdege.
Pick me up at the
airport. Yeah. Oscar Wakarara. And it Maneru, Shavira Koroita se, Robuda. You know what I mean? I think just out of quick by accident. Rolled. Show gone. You see what I mean? So even my managers, I just want to Hon Fortune Chasi, womuti dear manager wangu.
Because mfesi
Gaito my paper. And
that speak
to it. They should get training and so forth. So there's a lot that needs to happen. And my musicians, unfortunately, are not working in unison. Anenga abuda mghetto umpovata ngoro yake asina basa nechi. Yeah, but we need to. I mean, Mtukudzi went with all his knowledge. You know, he tried to train ovanu pakarepai, but tinana mkanya waripo. We can tap. They know what should happen. They have the experience. Doma professor music. Doctor. So we need to tap on that. And my own view is that we probably are not doing that. We need to do that. We need to give them more support in the various areas. Vanogadzira ma apps vapana wewe. Gawapiwe zvinoitira kuti vaite sei. Yeah, fortunately one is innovation, but it's a mass industry. Vafana vese vakungoita zvema-computer. So let's give them the support.
And Dobadon, we have trust. You were out on social media.
Yes.
Looking for Dobadon. Tell us what progress you've made and what.
Yeah, you know, let me start by saying Kumageto youths, nyaya dombo, my drugs, fame without fortune. Kuzika anwaunzi.
Without Fortune Chasi.
Fame without fortune.
No pun intended.
Fortune. Daune fortune waka but wangoita fame anditi ronakidza graftry out uri pa stage uchiitisa vanhu zvaunoda but mula hapana, and then taking drugs to feel kuti uite cool,
then what's the point?
Hakuna zvakadaro. So you know we are ruining my careers as musicians, and I want to appeal to those who sing vachiita promote vanofunga kuti vakangwara vachiita promote nyaya yemadrugs waya na crystal meth. Utonoona mwana anorara 4 days kurara hope 4 days.
Wasn't there a concert or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Passion Java something.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah,
it happened. Something about
say no to drugs.
Say no to drugs.
Yes, I think that's an awakening. You know, a lot of us know youngsters vari kuita zvema-drugs, my musicians especially. Right. Because ndo vanenge vari in the limelight. But even pasi apaka maposto munaziya
aposto
kwavari kuenda vachinopiwa
staff
nana Blaz vari kuita izvozvo mugeto anenge ari panext door penyu kana mapurisa akuya kuzosunga munhu otoudzwa kunzi tiza nekuseri but vana vari kuita sei their lives are being destroyed and the censorship board must listen to music yemazuva ano kuti ari kuti chii munhu kuti let's say soldier lava kuti television thing high definition ari kuti kudii anditi vointeracta nevanhu kuti chii chaari kumbotaura ipapa apa you know what because
pamwe code
pamwe code yechi ezvinhu zvavanozopisa manje vakubhema zve vamwe madhaya pachaichaiwo evana akashanda chipe zvakawanda zvinhu zvacho zoti mutemo manje wemadrugs wakuda revision because nowhere does it contemplate kuti munhu angabike napkin orinwa odhakwa but it's happening now moza it's happening. It's happening.
So with regards to Dobadon in particular, I believe you wanted to set up a trust or whatever. Yes. How far have you gone with that?
Yes, we've lodged our papers, and as soon as it has been registered, we don't just want to deal with one person. Because this is actually a pandemic. Kana kumusha nhasi chaenda tofonerwa unzi kuna vapfana 2 form 2 wangu wakatoisa mbanje momwe muwanadzo mumaoko ndodziri cheap uko. You see what I mean? Okay. Right. So I think the nation is now awakening to this, and we need to do everything. Very talented youngster ndoda toti wo akaita bo totoitawo chikolabo tichitaura nyaya ichi yechichi tomuusa as an example, because what they don't realize is for you to come out of that mess, it's $1,000 a month.
Rehab.
Yeah. Baba utambira 75. Saka, you know, they'll just say, apana. Apedza zvinhu zvese mumba, mahandbag amai, makapu, maplate, arikuenda achinotengesa. So it's a real disaster. So we would like to broaden this to have an educational campaign for youngsters, so that when they experiment, they know that they might get themselves into something they won't be able to come out of. Very, very difficult to come out of.
Yeah. So in terms of drug abuse, in your view, is it a way of escaping certain realities, or is it just youngsters who just want to experiment and then they don't know how to get out of it?
I think it's a combination of many factors. I don't think it's right to ascribe it just to the fact that the economy is not performing. You know, economy is but take charge of your life. Be responsible. There are opportunities, like Kanore, an artist of Dobadon's caliber. Economy because you have a skill. People like you, they like your music, you are living off it. Usangopinda chete mnyaya dzekuda kunakirwa kana ndakadhakwa I look cool, you know, chidzadzarika. No. Go and perform and make people happy and become bigger. Yes, of course, as our economy improves, stress should also. But there are so many people who are stressed, and they reflect it in different ways.
Right. Yeah. You are a lawyer by profession, and ever since you left government, you are now you started this law firm. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I never really had the opportunity to. I used to like being in court, because not only artist, rock star, because you're in control. You know what I mean? Because judge, but answer that question. Yes. Answer the question. Yeah, you answer the question. Answer it. I did. So I enjoyed being in court. I like being in court, but my current portfolio is more commercial. So I started a law firm called Chasi, the law practice, and coincidentally or intentionally, it's staffed by young people.
Right.
Because one is ginger. Ukangovhiringa munhu wedu tikakuisira ivavo meno zvako mawanako unopera. Right. So yeah, it's it's growing, it's exciting. We are very impressed with the goodwill that the public has bestowed on us.
Right. Are you going to be offering some free services to these ghetto youths?
Like pro bonos?
Oh yeah, Kanoga Kuram ghetto. I know, for example, that my father, maybe that's why he also wanted me to be a lawyer, because bagaita problem nemota watenga. That was his last car. And I remember he instructed Webb Law and Perry. Right. But he couldn't afford the fees. And so yes, I believe that the poor are entitled to free legal advice, especially with kanzuri inona vanhu vachivaka 15 years vachivaka imba ozongomuka nhasi kuti takupwanya ounza magredha asi
you watch to be building.
Yes, you know, zviri pachena munhu the whole of their life they are building mari yese yavari kuwana,
and that's it, it's gone.
Yeah, and it's gone just like that. I saw Soldier Love's house being destroyed.
Oh,
he
really?
wept like a baby.
Wow.
You know, akarapasa, I had to lift him, ndakamteera uku kwaivaka uku, you know, and it's happening so often.
Right.
It's bad, and the law around the right to housing has got to be clearly defined. Kuti kana paane mass evictions, in my view, there should be several people who must be cited in litigation.
Right.
Minister of Local Government, they must be there. They must have been found a place to vaende. Now, most of these people are not chikoro. Nyangwane chikoro, they can't afford. So masamani sakawea. This is also default judgment. Our work to manyanechi. Yeah. So we need, I think, that area of the law to be developed. But certainly, being a youth, weku those are namodziriko. So in appropriate cases, I will, of course, naturally, we have agreed at my firm that that's our corporate social responsibility.
Right.
To help people. Kwetongoti inonzi Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights yet. Isusu as lawyers. Kakurira kuruzeva, kakurira mghetto.
But obviously you'll be weighing out my cases, Achuk.
Yeah, you can do everything. you really want a case that can then be used to protect others. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You've also ventured into business. I saw an article not so long ago, some motorcycle, something. Are you still involved in that, and what is your involvement?
Yeah, well, I'm the chairman, but it's one of those situations of fame without fortune.
Okay.
So I've been asked actually by 2 South African companies to work with them in the area of electric vehicles. Some of them are just dealing with 100% electric vehicles, not like Makombi and Ungo Charge Gasina fuel. And then the others we've started in South Africa. It's doing very well. Let's go my charge stations.
My charging stations.
Anditi vanhu vaya vanotengesa airtime. Iwo wakutengesawo ningi. Magetsi ako.
I'm sure as the population of EVs increases, there'll be more charging stations.
Yes. Yeah. That was one of my dreams at the Ministry of Energy, because I was also looking at it as a way of reducing our import bill, magetsi.
Right.
You know, magetsi, I mean, fuel, petrol ne diesel. Kuti vanhu kana vakufamba une mota dzine electric. Yeah, my concern right now is that we do not have public awareness of the dangers that come with those cars, because lithium battery is a bomb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even when we ambulance they need to be trained kuti kana paitika accident ye EV. Zvinofambiswa sei, because they've never had training in that area. So, you know, as usual, things develop and policies come through, and I'm sure that Minister of Transport is looking into those issues.
Oh, yeah.
With regards to the electricity situation in Zimbabwe, would you advise most of Zimbabwe to go off the grid?
Yeah, well, it may be difficult to go off the grid completely, but we need to look at things like community solar. I was talking to colleagues, friends in Mount Pleasant Heights. They have a massive problem. Every day, either there is a fault or akuna. They're always mourning. And I was saying that we need to look at the possibility of a community solar system. But also, I think that government needs to drive rooftop solar.
Right.
You know, you still need to be connected to ZESA, so that, like Mazowe, the sunlight may not be there. Yeah, so ukabva off the grid, so you just need, and then of course I think that the net metering arrangements that were put in place, where you are credited, you know, Kanaone solar, maybe you lose about 60% of your energy.
Right.
So that energy needs to be sold to ZESA. So you register to get onto their net metering system.
Right.
Sadly, their approach is they give you my units.
In not money.
Yeah, I think, in my view, if I had the wherewithal, I would say no. You talk about $70, where your Magets is worth $100, because Magets are more importer from South Africa. It's just we just discount, talk for something instead of nothing, because there is a limit. If you have lots of power, say you have you have 1 million units, you can't use them.
How easy is it to feed back into the grid? Say you have your own solar system at home, and then you have excess power. How difficult is it? It would just to go in reverse.
Yeah.
Now power comes into the house.
Yes, it's quite easy. You of course you go through their application process, which I would hope will be online. You know, because nyaya kuenda kuma office chinotora chifomo filo ozonochidzosera uskonzi no Chasi ndiyanoita izvi but ambobuda enda kurufu and so forth. It should be online.
Right.
So, but it's relatively easy once it starts running. I just think that as a way of import substitution,
right,
people should be allowed to get a US dollar, and that will actually, in my view, help even vanhu vasingade kuisa solar. Because wakwada solar yangozi, I mean dollar yangozi so it can be a business.
Yeah.
And then if it's a say kubruku kuya muri community, then you are owed 100,000. Then I come there and I say, okay, this will take time. Indokupai 70,000 US. Inindozo tengesa kuzesa. You know what I mean? Some opportunities are for some of these things, but I'm hopeful that those in authority are looking at them.
All right. Nice.
This was good.
Nash, we still have the Honorable MP for Mazowe South. Is there anything else you want to ask him?
No.
Yeah. What else do I want to ask? You don't have a farm.
Oh, no, not at the moment.
Why? That is very... In Mazowe South,
Yeah.
I would have assumed you'd have a farm somewhere there.
Well, I used to have a farm in Mazowe West, but apani nyaka yakaitika yakazondivirika.
With the former first lady?
Yeah. So farm rakabara tsakatika ipo pai and quite.
So he might actually need to just tell us a little bit about that. I know there was a debacle with the former first lady. I think you stood up for the community when they were being moved, and you thought it was unfair and so on.
Yeah, you know, I think if you are an MP and if you are a political leader, you must stand with the people that have elected you.
Right.
And for me, people that vasina chikoro, vasina mari, ndo vanhu vacho vandoda kumirira ivavo, because vamwe havane mari and vane chikoro. Yeah. Iwo ukaona samanisi wakutongofonera kuti Fortune uri kupi? Ndine summons oti okay, unozoenda rukufisi but mbonisira paWhatsApp ndione. Zvakutoshandwa. But a lot of these people that you see being evicted have not had the their opportunity in court because they can't.
Right.
So I think MPs have got to be able to stand up to defend those people. That's if that was a crime, that's the crime that I committed.
So you stood up for the people, and then she was like, "I'll take your farm."
Yeah, I don't think she was. Pane vanhu vasiri right.
A foot soldier.
Vanoenda vaida mafavor vachinonyepa kuti chii and so forth. I remember when I was watching on TV saying tongonzwa kuti ane mari yakawanda hatina kana mari inini
Amuribomda.
aiwa ndotokusasa guys aura ndakuenda ndadhara nchikudza handina mari
Ndarangaribo.
But you're a church mouse, but church yachona.
ndekurunyazi
So the Second Republic should be able to give you a farm.
Well, I continue to be hopeful, but our land is not elastic. Mafamu akawanda kaenda. Of course, I just hope, particularly in Mazowe, because I didn't tell you this, because kuma orange kuyakwe ase kuruwangu ini. I'm not farmer aingonyora tsamba ku concession kuti enda munotora vanhu vayozoshanda. So he worked there for a long time as a slave. It's a slave because he was not being paid. And then no, I can't stand this. No replacer, coolest. You have bachi. So for me, it's a very emotional issue. But I also recognize that we can't all be farmers.
Right.
We have more people who do not have access to land than those that have. And I'll be happy to farm in Samora, which is what I'm doing now.
What would you do with the farm?
I love, at my peak, I had just below 1,500 cattle, and I lost more than half of those when this thing happened.
How do you lose cattle? What happened?
Pakangoita noise, anomanya. But I think also some people wanted them, and it was free for all.
Wow.
You had 1,500?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I started with a poultry number. But such is life, you've got to have faith in the good Lord. That.
So what do you have now in terms of cattle? Nothing?
By nothing, you mean zero?
Yeah.
Yeah, zero.
From 1,500 to zero?
1.5 to...
Kamuru,
even if you had, where would you put them?
Initially, Zimbabweans are very good people. I must give credit to, Honorable Mugweni. Is the MP for Mazowe North. His parents heard about my calamity, and they offered. My cattle were there for 10 years. Some of them, the little, I think, Zanza 100.
Wow.
And they were doing everything for me. So,
wow.
But because graft
I want to thank you very much, Honorable MP for Mazowe South. A lot of people have, actually sent us messages.
Yeah, they were like, bring Fortune Chasi.
Yeah. Oh, really?
They didn't know that we tried to have you 4 months ago and
6 months ago.
6 months. Yeah, 6 months, and you were being evasive.
And I had to get it.
I'll get back to you.
I know
we finally have got you in the studio, and we are very thankful.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I know you're a very busy man, but you took time.
No, I'm also grateful for
to come and chill with us.
I had my one with Ola just last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Right.
But this one sounds like it's fresh also, but it's the same person. I thought at the same thing.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
We don't do interviews. We do chill out, right? We chill out. Yeah. Nash, do we let the MP
drop a beat?
Go
he
now.
must.
Oh yeah, he
He
must.
must do something.
One or two mabaz.
No, but before Mira. When he came in, were you expecting him to sound the way he was sounding, and like the answers that he gave and everything?
Well, I think I think, yeah. I mean, I've known him for a while.
Oh, okay.
So I've known that he's a very nice, cool, chilled guy.
Okay,
His son
is that why he gave you the vote of confidence? Good to know when I would minister.
No. Varukudona Pane talent, man.
Potential.
There's so much potential.
It's an asset.
I mean, asset.
It's an
Oga
asset.
But
the
not
ministry
to finance. Not to finance.
You repeat.
Yeah, I repeat, not to finance. Yeah.
I told me some information.
Yeah.
It's all right. Right, and then
Hey. It's hard, woman.
Honorable Minister, I'm about to sing along.
Zimbabwe ino yatakatsikirira pane vanhu vakaifira asi nhasi vanzwa bhiti racho
A bit madrama zavo kuzviringidza.
It's a hit.
Mudhara vari kurova song yavo. Bheki ari kuita
I think we have a hit.
Bheki ari kurova ngoma yekuroma.
Oh, ngoma yako iri inconsistent.
Kurova ngoma yekuroma pana.
Thank you very much. Be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we might drop an episode on Friday. We might drop it on Tuesday.
Or we might not even drop it at all.
You know what I mean? So just stay connected to us by turning on your notifications. There we go. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Babest.
The Denny J Show. Zvanga zviri down ta up tauraitidzwe nyaya dzacho dzese narrative ndaichidwe kana mchida kutipisa deep ndaipidwe make you spill a bean if you know what I mean hande